So fixing your golf swing can feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle, and there's a lot of pieces, but everybody, regardless of age and skill level, is looking for that one piece that unlocks their full potential. The secret has been hidden in plain sight this whole time, and is actually the one thing that's connected to the golf club, your hands. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to understand how to activate, connect, and utilize the hands and arms properly in the backswing, in the downswing, at the pre-impact position, and post-impact position. Step number one is taking your ordinary hands and turning them into what we call the claws. Okay, the claws are when you get full activation of the exterior and interior parts of your hands, and your hand kind of forms like this claw-like shape. Okay, this is extremely important because this is what allows you to create the proper connection to the golf club and use your hands properly in the swing to get the club to do what we want it to do. So we're going to go through a 3-step process that we recommend to all of our students on how to get the claws. So step number one is we're going to get our fingers like completely sewed together, okay? So we imagine that if we had like water here, the water would just drop and funnel off the hands. We don't want any gaps in here, okay? So nice pinch here between thumb and forefinger. Now from there, we're gonna just go palm to palm. Basically your arms and fingers extended straight out away from your chest here. Step number two, we're going palm to palm, and we're gonna extend our fingers away from our palms. Okay, so this is when we begin to get what we call the wrist and finger extension. So you should feel a little bit of tension here in the back of the hand, in the inside part of the hand. This is good. This means that the claws are taking form. Okay, what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna do step number 3, which is curling the fingertips. Okay, once we get that curl of that fingertips, that's when we get the full activation of the outside parts of the hands and the knuckle pads. Okay, the knuckle pads are what's actually creating the connection to the handle. So it's really important that you feel that proper kind of activation of those pads. Okay, so now that you have the claws, think of these like holsters that the club is going to set in, okay? The distance from this pinch here to this hook right here is exactly the width of the grip of the golf club, and it's gonna sit right in there. What that's going to do is that's gonna allow you to push against the grip properly with the lead in the trail hand. So let's take a club, preferably a compact one, and connect it. Perfect. So what we got here is when we take a look at this lead hand claw, we recommend more of what we call a stronger grip, to where the V of the lead hand points at the trail shoulder. So when we get the proper kind of wrist extension, finger extension, and curl the fingertips, now I'm just going to take this compact club and I'm just going to put it right in here in this claw. Okay, you're going to see the club is going to run from the index pad to the pinky pad. Again, this is a stronger grip, and this is what we recommend at claw for the average golfer, because it just makes it easier to push down on the club, get the maximum hands and arms speed, get the club swinging on the proper plane. It just makes your life way easier. We should be feeling like that lead thumb, almost like your identity is being placed in that grip. If you committed a crime, we'd be able to cut out a section of your grip and figure out your identity. That's what we always kind of tell our students. So always want to make sure that thumbprint is firmly placed on the grip. Okay, that's like the main kind of pivot point that we talk about in the golf swing. Okay, now from here, we're going to take the trail palm and connect it to the lead thumb knuckle. So we're going to take our trail hand claw that we just created. We're going to go trail palm to lead thumb knuckle. Okay. And then you can interlock, overlap, or baseball. It doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that we have that trail palm connected to lead thumb knuckle. And when we put the trail hand on the club, we want to feel like we're going palm first and then curling our fingertips. Okay, the reason that's important is that it allows us to really, again, apply that proper pressure to that lead thumb knuckle. Then from there, we're just going to take this kind of pinch that we have here between your thumb and forefinger, this like hook, and just hook it right around the bottom of the grip. And then that would be a perfect connection of the lead and the trail hand. So the lead hand is the pivot point, the trail hand is pivoting around this lead thumb knuckle. And now when we get into the kind of further steps of how to utilize these in the swing, these guys are going to work as a team to get the club to do what you want it to do. Okay, so now that we have the proper connection of the claws to the handle, let's figure out how to utilize them properly in the golf swing. And let's start with the backswing. Okay, so first thing we really need to understand is that everything that we just did when it came to connecting the claws to the club was to give you the ability to actually use the hands properly in the swing, to get the club up just above our trail shoulder in the backswing. Okay, a good reference point is that we're trying to feel like the club is pointing up and back at the trail shoulder. Almost imagine there's like a bell back here and we're just trying to ring that bell with the club head. Okay, so now with that being the intention, how are we going to get the club from here up to that bell? And there's two things that we really have to understand. Number one is that we have to consistently push against the handle. Almost imagine there's like a circle down here on the ground. Okay, we want to imagine that the first move when we take the club back is pushing to that circle. As we're pushing to that circle, we're going to feel getting the proper wrist extension, particularly with the trail hand. This is going to create what we call the lever or the full set of the wrists. Okay, this is really kind of creating the pivot point that is going to allow us to transition the club up and back at our trail shoulder to ring that bell. Nice and slow, it's going to look just like this. Pushing to that circle and getting a full set of those wrists. So when we look at it down the line here, the club is perfectly in line with our hands. The handle is stretched away from the trail hip. Now from here, I'm just going to continue to push against the handle as I take that trail index finger and pull the club up and back at the trail shoulder. Okay, this would be a perfect backswing here. Really ding, ding, really ringing that bell. Feeling that push, pull sensation. Almost feel like the club could come to a full stop. Okay, you could take the club and kind of pull it back at that, kind of ringing that bell at that trail shoulder. A good drill for you. So now we have that position. The first move when we start the downswing, we're going to start with the feet and knees a little bit. You've heard a lot of talk about that in conventional golf instruction, but we're really going to talk about how the first move is taking the butt end of the golf club and driving it at the target line. Okay, what this is going to do is this is going to get that trail elbow to tuck in front of our body, but it's also going to maintain the proper angle here in that trail wrist. So we're basically just getting this L position here at the top, maintaining this L position. And now from here, this is where the trail arm is going to feel like it's going from bent to straight. And this is a very important position. We'll call this pre-impact, before you strike the golf ball, impact, and then post-impact. So we're going to walk you through now how you've got into this position, got the handle into a great position. How do we deliver the club to the ball with our hands properly? Okay, so here we are at pre-impact. This is like the make or break position in your golf swing. Here we are coming back down into the ball, got the trail index finger kind of hooked back, lead palm pushing down, trail palm pushing against that. Here we are. So we're in the perfect position to now deliver the club to the ball properly. And we're going to do this by really feeling that trail arm going from bent to straight as we keep that cup and that trail wrist. Almost imagine this just stays braced like this, and we just feel this sensation. This is what's delivering the club to the ball. We want this to feel like it's staying braced, and the trail palm is just accelerating, and the trail arm goes from bent to straight. That's taking that lever and unlevering it into the ball. Almost imagine that this is a hammer and the ball is a nail. Once we get right here, boom, just hammer that nail, okay? And by having this lead arm braced like this, it really creates like a nice pivot action for the trail palm to kind of pivot around, which creates a nice gear effect and is gonna give you a lot of club head speed. So once we're here, coming in the ball, boom, hammer that nail. Now we got this lead side braced, shoulders are tilted. We're just gonna feel like that club head is just releasing right down the target line. Really feeling that trail arm now fully extended, trail wrist still cupped, and just kind of pivoting around this brace of this lead hand. So this is where all the speed is at in the golf swing. So if you can keep this lead side braced, you're gonna really create like a wall that just allows that trail hand to just, boom, hit up against it. Keep the cup in the trail wrist, keep the cup in the lead wrist. That's the money move. So now I'm just gonna combine everything I just did with the compact club with a real club now. So here, all I'm gonna really focus on is just, again, getting that proper lever in the backswing, pushing to that circle, good hinge position, really trying to feel that club going up and back at the trail shoulder, coming into the ball with it, trail arm going from bent to straight, really feeling that brace to get that full gear effect at the bottom. So let's see what we got here. Not bad. I mean, just a little left, maybe aim was off a little bit, but one thing that wasn't off was I had really good connection to the club, really good lever position here in the backswing, maintained that lever coming into the ball, and really felt that trail arm going from bent to straight, keeping that cup and that trail wrist. The golf swing is 90% hands and arms, so the more you can understand the importance of how to utilize these pieces of the golf swing, the better you're going to be as a golfer.